your name on it. Just put your name on it. That's all I say. Be a man or a woman. Put your name on it.
Well, I'd like to hear about it, potheads.
How the fuck you gonna know how to be great if you don't study greatness? Look at the game tape.
Donuts.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, you're not a bad-looking man, Mr. Gals.
But you are, Blanche. You are in that chair.
There's something wrong with us. Something very, very wrong with us.
Oh, hey, buddy. Oh, yeah.
2012.
That's the last time when we did it at the house, in the garage.
Yeah, in Malibu.
Palace. Did you come to Malibu to do it?
Yeah.
Oh, it was such a mess. We were just talking before we were rolling about, we won't say his name, but there's a comic. Oh, and Joe Prano was here, of course.
What's up, Joe?
Great to be
Joe's
back.
been a great addition to my life, bro. I've needed a Joe for a long time, and I got one now. Chuck that whole fucking thing, man.
Oh, yeah.
We were talking before the show started about how there was a comic that was on a cruise ship, and he was such a dick. They did an anti-Semitic joke, and they replaced him. They took him off on a helicopter.
Wow.
But they brought his replacement comic on the helicopter to come get him. Is there a better gig than to replace a guy and have to pass him on the helicopter? Like, sorry, bro.
I know. Don't do this joke.
No. What's the worst? Have you ever been replaced on a gig?
Yeah, I had the promoter and the people who booked me snatch the microphone off my hand.
Wow, when?
Because I was doing like a golf course, and a bunch of people that were coming in from playing golf, and they told me to keep it clean. I told all the comedians, keep it clean, bro. They're paying us $200, so keep it clean. I kept it clean, man, but it was content. They didn't like the content. Cause I do a joke about my brother. It's funny because I should have just kept doing the joke. I stopped doing the joke after they took the microphone from me. I said that my brother, when he comes out of prison, worst. You know, my brother been in prison, in and out of it.
Yeah.
In and out. The first time he came out a better thief, you know, like a better criminal. The second time he came out like a Mexican nationalist. You know, he was like hardcore Chicano, like no blacks. You know, no Asians. He was very racist.
Just like a golf course.
Very racist, man.
Yes.
And
Perfect for the crowd.
And the third time was the worst. A born-again Christian. And they switched the microphone away. And I had jokes too, man. I was ready because my brother was stealing in the name of the Lord, you know, and doing all crazy stuff.
That surprises me that they
just
were
took
that
the microphone
sensitive.
away. Like, she went like this, that you took the microphone away. That's all for Felipe Esparza on the comedy show. I'll be hosting the raffle, not the comedian.
Let me tell you something. When they asked me to do a raffle, you might as well. I'd rather you just waterboard me. Like when people go like, "Will you?" Now these days, I've gotten really good at this. Try this. Ask me if I'll MC your event.
Would you MC this raffle for needy kids? A lot of these kids, they were their parents were burned during the fires.
That's terrible, but no, I can't. Because people ask us all the time to do stuff like that. And what I'll say,
David Spade told me to call you. He said he'll do it.
Spade can kiss my ass. He can kiss my ass.
Because they always throw a name, you know. Oh, yeah. So he said no to you.
I'll say I got roped into hosting something. It's about recovery, and I'm like, no. I said no. I said, listen, I won't host it, but I'll do a spot. I'll do like a half-hour spot. And the guy on the phone goes, well, that's not our format, so we need you to host it. And I'm like, no, you're not hearing me. No. And then I went somewhere, and another guy came up to me that I like really respect. He goes, listen, I really need you. I'm like, ah.
I get asked to speak at juvenile halls or to speak at a high school, and then like I always turn them down also. Because
you don't want the mic snatched away
again. I dropped out
again.
of high school. I did drugs during high school. Everything I did is opposite of what this guy wanted me to tell you. Because I'm more like, you know, man, live your life. Don't hurt nobody. If you get on drugs, quit. Have a story to tell. That's it.
Well, I guess I'm like you. You and I are a lot alike. We're high school. I did stand up at 16, junior year of high school. So I knew like, none of this is going to matter to me. I've seen Emerald City, and it has nothing to do with algebra or calculus or French class or history. Like, well, history I could learn something, but I drove 8 hours for $50 from New Jersey to Buffalo, New York. I took my sister's car, all the way back right into first period French. And back then, like 1888, it was like $3 would get you lunch. And I had a $50 bill in my pocket. And I'm looking around the room. I'm like, none of these kids got $50 in their pocket. And I looked at my teacher who had a master's in French. I'm like, she doesn't have $50 in her pocket. Man, fuck school. I'm out. You just got to play the game. That's good, but you're turning it down because you don't want to be a phony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't tell kids now, hey, man, stay off drugs, but I was getting high in the parking lot on the way in.
Well, they say those who can't do teach.
Yeah.
You know?
And what is it? And those who can't teach Jim. This episode of Mohr's Stories.
Health class. They teach health class.
Yeah, they teach health. Do you remember health class when they showed you like the pictures of the vagina and you try not to giggle? But how do you not giggle when you get some old guy like, we had Mr. Stepanowski like, this is the clitoris.
We had Miss Bayliss.
How hot was she?
She was not hot, bro.
Oh.
None of my teachers were hot, bro. I didn't.
Come on, bring
I
it
didn't
in.
grow up like
She
that.
got coffee for you. Give Daddy his juice.
I didn't grow up like that. All my teachers were bad.
Bad how?
They were not good looking. Only my brother's second grade teacher, Miss Mata Leones, she was hot, bro. She was really hot.
That's kind of a hot name, but I got to tell you.
She used to go like, I don't know, man. My brother was like in second grade. He would tell me, "Oh, Miss Mata Leones, she's so good," and he'll close his legs and she goes, she lets when we give her massages.
Whoa.
And then like, cause there was a movie, and then my brother Angel, he was a good, very good looking, cute kid, and he said that Miss Mataleone would let him rub her shoulder. You know how actors do it to actresses, you know, when they're getting ready for a scene.
Not this one.
You know, like, oh man, scene study, shoulder rubs. You know,
Sure.
yeah.
If I could do being single over again, Felipe, I'd be like, forget like acting or stand-up comedian. When people say like, what do you do for a living? I go, I'm a massage therapist. Because every woman in the world is going to be like, oh, I got this little kink on my left titty.
When did it switch from masseuse to massage therapist? I feel like it was masseuse my whole life, and then
Masseuse,
they became sandwich
masseur,
artists.
Sandwich artist. I know a guy that was a massage therapist, and it's like he just crushed ass constantly, and like celebrity ladies would be, and he'd wind up just with his cock in everybody's mouth.
We in our neighborhood, do you guys have it in your neighborhood where there's a guy that does masseuse, but he's not really like a therapist per se. He didn't go to chiropractor school.
He just bought the table.
But he knows, or a mattress, but he knows how to fix or he knows how to fix backs. Because we had a guy, when I messed up my shoulder, we had a guy in Boyle Heights, and that guy had he was probably like a driver's ed teacher during the day, but at nighttime, he's a back cracker, man. They call him Sobador in Spanish, and every neighborhood has one. And this guy goes in there, bro. He just puts on like a little bit of alcohol, like Mr. Miyagi, makes his hands hot, and start rubbing your shoulders, bro.
I love you.
On a mat, you can smell like the burns cooking, boiling, man. Baby's crying, and he's just fixing you, right? And then I forgot about going there. Then I'm on my podcast talking about El Salvador, this masseuse guy, and this guy comes in. He goes, "Hey, bro, I don't know if you know this, but my uncle, he used to be a massage therapist, bro, El Salvador, bro, for reals, in Boyle Heights, bro." And Mike Brito from the Dodgers, he used to bring in Steve Howe, and
To the Salvador.
to El Salvador, bro. And maybe that was Steve Howe bought his drugs, but he'll bring in Steve Howe, and Steve Howe will get him a massage, and Fernando Valenzuela, all those Dodgers, after the game, they will go in at midnight, bro. This guy will come out, crack his knuckles, and start rubbing these Dodgers' backs.
And they won back then, too.
Yeah, man.
That's the secret sauce.
Enjoy your coffee. Let's get to this. Very excited about this. This episode
I
of
like your
Mohr.
mustache, bro. You're like, fuck yeah, man. Like,
I got to get this reading, Felipe. Shush.
if I had that, I would
Hold on.
let my
This
hair grow
episode
long.
of Mohr Stories is sponsored by BetterHelp. H-E-L-P, BetterHelp. You know, you hear about red flags in a relationship. You're here with your beautiful wife, Lisa. It's always good to see you again. I see you guys. I see green flags. Like, we're not good at identifying what the green flags in a relationship are. You may be missing out on your dream woman or your dream guy because you're not seeing the green flags in that relationship. If you're not sure what they look like, therapy can help you identify the green flags, and you can actively practice them in your relationship. Embody the green flag energy in yourself. Be the best you. Let me tell you something. If you benefited from anything in your life, therapy can make it better. I'm a big proponent of therapy. You know I'm sober. I do my meetings, my 12-step stuff, and we call it outside help. Hell yeah, outside help. Better help. That's betterhelp.com/Mohr Stories, MOHR Stories. And you're going to get 10% off your first month, not your first appointment, your first month. Get in there. My gosh, it's online. Therapy is affordable now and convenient. No longer do you have to, man, I used to go to therapy. I used to drive across town. By the time I got to the guy's office, I was all angry. And he's like, oh, I think you're bipolar. You're real manic. I'm like, no, bro, it took me 3 hours just to clear Wilshire. Now you just sit in the comfort of your own home. You get online. It's BetterHelp, H-E-L-P. You can switch therapists whenever you want. No extra cost. There's really nothing. You cannot do better than BetterHelp.com/more stories. You get that 10% off for a month. And hey, what if they don't have the therapist for me? Garbage. What are you talking about? 30,000. 30,000. You know what that is? That's a sold out Rolling Stones concert. Picture a Rolling Stones concert. Mix up there. All right. Now picture the audience. Oh, everyone like, wow, look at all these people. And they're all therapists. And you can pick any of them. You can go up top. You can go down low to the floor inside that mouth logo. You can get anybody you want. So if one doesn't work, you go to the next one, but it's going to work. You know why? Because just like it says in the opening credits of this podcast, put your name on it. I'm
Jay,
Don't interrupt this read, Joe.
Well, I want you to know I was in a terrible relationship. When I got out, somebody gifted me a month on BetterHelp. Mm-hmm. Immediately after, green flags everywhere. Found my fiance.
Yeah, now he's engaged.
Yep. BetterHelp will work for me, and it can work for you.
You know where he's got his bachelor party coming up next week? Online. He's going to BetterHelp with all his friends.
That's right.
They're all
green flags and online bachelor party.
Hang out in their gray sweatpants and just talk about chicks at BetterHelp.com. H-E-L-P. BetterHelp.com. More Stories is your /more stories. 10% off. Come on, y'all. Get your BetterHelp. Don't you deserve it? I do a lot of favors for you guys. Free podcast. Now you got this. You got this to look forward to. Be the best you could be. Get out of your own way. Get out of your own way. BetterHelp.com /more stories. Felipe Esparza. First of all, no middle name will ever top De Jesus.
De Jesus, bro. I don't really use it.
Of
my
Jesus?
brother does when he steals my identity.
Say it again. Your brother Angel?
Yeah, man.
That sounds like a shortstop for the Mets in the 80s.
His name is long too. It's Luis Angel Esparza.
Luis Angel.
Yeah, Luis Angel.
My middle name's Ferguson. It's kind of wacky.
Sounds like a tire company.
Ferguson Tires. What's your middle name, Joe?
Patrick.
All right. It sounds like we've officially run out of things to talk
Just
about.
Patrick?
Joseph Patrick.
Where you from?
New York.
Patrick De Jesus.
Westchester.
Westchester.
Yep.
I don't know if you know
now
this.
we're in Westchester now.
That's right.
We're in Westchester, L.A.
Westchester to Westchester.
I've always wanted to ask you, I don't know how I didn't cover this when you were on More Stories the last time. Probably because I was high as a giraffe's ass. I used to go to therapy really high, and he diagnosed me as bipolar because I was nuts. And he's like, well, he's really manic. And then the next time I wouldn't be high, and I'd be like just real quiet. And he's like, well, this guy's obviously got a big pendulum. I got put on all these meds just because I fucked up my pills going in. You being smuggled here by a coyote.
Yeah.
We've never really talked about this. Do you remember it?
Yeah, the first.
How old were you?
I was little, like
20?
3 or 4. My dad was smuggled here. He came in was a group of people. He told me the story. There was a bunch of them, and they all got in a car and got in. But we got a guy that we just went in his car and we made it across the border. But San Clemente had a checkpoint with sheriffs. So they had their own checkpoint. They were randomly checking people.
At San Clemente?
Yeah.
That's way up that's like 2 hours away.
It's that one you drive by, where they got that little pullover spot.
Yeah, it's when I looked it up, there's like around 150 of those all over America. I've been through all of them. And you're like if you're leaving San Diego on the 8 and you think you're you're getting closer to Mexico, boom, another checkpoint. And they ask you, man, where you going? Are you an American citizen? And a lot of people get upset, because they're surprised that they're being asked this over here. But anyway, they took out of the car, and our driver was American, and he went scot-free, even though he was our smuggler. We didn't rat him out, and we're going to use him again next week again. So my mom got arrested, and she was released to go back to Mexico. And then 2 hours later, after we ate, we were released. And we walked in through the sliding door and let's try this again. And my aunt said, Well, I have dual citizen right now. I could go to San Isidro and back because I work there all the time. So she loaned us her kids' passports. We're 3 boys. So the passport was 2 boys and a girl.
And you've had long hair ever since.
So my little brother, man, he had no choice. He had to be Pati. That was the name of the passport. My name is Pati.
You put him in like a little tube top?
Everything, bro. Everything, bro. He looked like a little Puerto Rican dancer, bro. So we went to train him. My aunt said, "You're going to start wearing this dress for about a week." You know, and
It was
little.
real?
It was little, bro. Yeah. He was 3, bro. He was not ready for this.
How hot was he, though?
So I don't even remember, bro. You got to ask the Border Patrol. They dressed him up like a little girl. We get to the passport. They ask my brother, "What's your name?" "Me llamo Pati." You know, my name is Pati. "Oh, okay. Come on in." And my brother's been gay ever since, bro.
No.
He didn't just come out of the country. He came out of the closet, you know.
This is the Republicans' worst nightmare.
Yeah,
trans illegal immigrants.
Yeah,
They come in
and then
twice
He
together.
showed up trans.
yeah, man. And my mom is so naive, you know. She would ask, "Why is he gay? Why is he gay? Hello, why are we here?"
Yeah, you dressed him like
He took one for the team.
He did take one for the team. God bless his heart. So how do you become a American citizen if you come in illegally? Like, walk us through that.
I have no idea, man. I became a U.S. citizen 3 months ago.
No, you did not.
Yeah.
For real? I got a friend who's Puerto Rican. If you really want to piss him off, you go, when did Puerto Rico become, when did you become a citizen? And he goes fucking crazy. He's like, fuck you. It's an American territory, bro.
They became citizens in 1955.
Right. But if you ask him,
Yeah.
we do it to him all the time, and it makes him angry every single time.
When are you going to become an American
Yeah,
citizen?
are you a citizen? He's like, why don't you check your history books, Caro? So how hard was that test?
Oh, man, the citizenship test, fuck.
I think most Americans might fail it.
Oh, yeah.
All of them will fail it.
Especially like my son's era, like the
Oh, yeah.
13-year-olds, like they're idiots.
There are 100 civic questions about the United States that you got to memorize because they give you a quick pop quiz.
Look it up, Joe.
You
Give
could
me a
only get
couple randos.
6
Yeah.
wrong.
6 wrong? And
Out of
Yes.
100, you got to get a
But
94 to get
no,
in.
but they give you 5 questions.
Oh.
So you get 6 questions. You can't get like 3 wrong. But they'll randomly ask you like 6 out of the 100. So you got to know the 100.
Do you remember your questions?
Yeah, man. They asked me, it's person to person. So I remember I had my immigration lawyer with me. And
This is really like this year.
Yeah, last year. And she asked me, who's.
How did you win Last Comic Standing? I would never let an illegal immigrant win my show.
No, but I was a green card holder.
I don't care. USA.
I got in, bro.
I'm so
beat
glad
him,
you
bro.
won.
And they asked me, who's Susan B. Anthony? And I was like, fuck, who is that? And I didn't know the answer. I just tried to be funny, big mistake. I asked that white lady who murdered her kids and blamed it on 2 Puerto Ricans in New York. Wrong. So I went to a rabbit hole, bro. I went on TikTok and I learned everything about fucking this Susan B. Anthony lady. She's a white woman who fought for civil rights for American women so they could have the right to vote in 1920.
Susan B. Anthony was white. I never knew
And
that.
I didn't even know that women
I'm
couldn't
not kidding.
vote.
I always
didn't
thought it was
even-
a black lady.
I didn't even know that
B?
I didn't know that women couldn't vote till 1920. And then
those
now
were
I
the
say
good old days.
that was when America was great.
Yes. Oh, these
And
dopey broads.
and I
with
didn't
their
know that
votes.
they couldn't really vote, bro. And I went into the rabbit hood about learning about women, and I didn't know that the Pilgrims, man, which they were when they were burning those witches in Salem, they were not witches, bro. They were side bitches. They were bitches that got pregnant, and they were gonna cause a drought and fuck up the corn.
What an out.
It was like
You get
like,
caught cheating, you're like, oh
You know,
no, she
like,
put a
you know-
spell on me, honey.
Yeah.
You're the pastor of this church, bro. You have dozens of followers. You got this side chick coming in pregnant, bro. Of course she's a witch.
Yeah, she's a witch.
She's
No,
gonna
she
ruin
put a
all-
spell on me.
She's gonna
Yeah.
ruin all Charleston.
Look, she made it
She
go
got that
up.
cursed pussy.
She got
Yes.
that hex puss.
So then,
Why you gotta work blue, Joe?
and then, so then I learned more fucked up shit, bro. That
Give me another question.
The
Joe.
first woman that was put into an asylum because her man got pissed off was Elizabeth Packard. She had an independent thought, and then that was the first time a white man said, "Bitch, you're crazy."
Well, why was this on your naturalization test?
Bro, because I just went to a rabbit hole. I'm just telling you not what I learned.
Oh, okay. This is.
Give me a question, bro. I'll get it right.
Yeah, let's see who wins, you or me.
Right.
This says
How many are we gonna do? Best out of 5.
The Federalist Papers supported the passage of the U.S. Constitution. Name one of the writers.
Thomas Jefferson.
Hancock.
Both wrong. James Madison, Alexander Hamilton, John Jay, and Publius.
All right, still got 5 more.
Whatever, nerds.
I still got 5 left.
Federalist Papers? How about rolling papers for Felipe?
Give me another one, bro.
All right, hold on.
All right, so that's 1. We're both... Right now, we're looking at Guantanamo.
Oh, that's the hardest. That's the hardest question they ask.
Thanks.
Okay. Name one state that borders Canada.
Montana. You got to name a different one.
Washington.
All right.
Correct.
Come on, what's up?
And Detroit.
Detroit, the state of Detroit.
And North Dakota. And New York.
Joe, it's only a 1-hour podcast.
I'm sorry. They don't give these away for a reason.
Well, I didn't know who the Speaker of the House was back then. I didn't know who the mayor was to the fires, and I didn't know who the our senator was or congressman for my neighborhood was, or the city councilman.
I had a guy tell me once, imagine Senate, the entire legislative branch, Congress and Senate. Imagine they don't. This is a guy that was like maybe a spy. He was deep in. He goes, imagine they do not go to work for 1 calendar year. Not one congressman, not one senator. He goes, what do you think happens? And he goes, but don't answer it. Tell me tomorrow. I thought about it all night. And he goes, what's your answer? I go, if no one in the legislative branch goes to work for a full year, what happens? Nothing. He goes, right. And I was like, oh, they're all a bunch of fucking jerks. All right, give me another question. I just thought I'd...
What do we call the first 10 amendments to the Constitution?
The first 10 amendments to the Constitution. That's what I call them.
The Bill of Rights.
That's correct.
Oh, you mother effer. You got me. Oh, my God. I got 1 foot out the door here. Man, Barry Katz could pass this test standing on his head, man.
Name 2 of the 3 rights in the Declaration of Independence.
I know one of them, and it's undeniable.
Undeniable, man. Right to bear arms and right of free speech.
Say it again, the question.
There are 3 rights in the Declaration of Independence. Name 2 of them.
The right to protest.
Life,
Peacefully.
liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Right, liberty.
Wait,
okay.
those are the 3?
Because then I'm wrong.
In the Declaration of Independence, yes.
So we're fucking... This is bad. I've lived here for like 54 years, too. I was born here, bro. All right, this is taking too long to set up, Joe.
Well, I got here. What is the economic system in the United States?
Capitalism.
Capitalism.
Correct.
All right, good. Your special Raging Fool
Raging Fool
came out February 11th on a Handsome Tuesday. It came out. Mm-hmm. Your special Bad Decisions, Netflix, right? Another Netflix one. What's a bad decision you've made that cost you like professionally? Like,
man,
I got a bunch.
I was in Montebello, California, and I was already like doing hardcore drugs. Then I saw this biker guy that always comes to that show, and I know that him and his biker gang, they deal with a lot of stuff. And I said, bro, you got any crack?
Wait, hold on. Had you ever smoked crack before?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But this is
you left that part out.
But I already smoked crack, but I haven't
crack.
smoking crack in 11 years or 10. And I just had the feeling of doing it. And I was already buzzed. And it was how crazy it was, bro. It was a bad night altogether. I was partying with a blind Armenian guy, bro. And he was blind, bro, like totally blind. Shout out to Anthony. And
Anthony, the blind Armenian.
Bro, we were... So anyways,
did he smoke crack?
Yes.
Oh, smoking crack blind must be amazing.
So it was crazy, bro.
She comes in colors everywhere.
It was sad, bro, because I was paranoid, afterwards. And I was looking out the window all paranoid, and he's blind. So I had to put him next to the window so he could have the same feeling I did. So he was pointing with his stick.
At the window.
And he had a way, because after a while when you start smoking crack with somebody, you try to rob each other, like... He tells you to go get a 20, you come back with only 10 and keep 10, So I thought, I could just take $100 from him, since he's blind. But
how do they know? Yeah, how do they know
He
which
had
bill
them
is
folded
which?
in a way that he knows what's a 20 and what's a 1 and what's a 5.
Crafty.
So he went like this, all black. Give me my 20 back.
How Ron Bennington said he was doing crack, and there was a playground across the street from his house, and he's peeking through the blinds in the morning, and the little kids were playing on the playground. He thought they were midget cops undercover as kids, and they were gonna come in his house. He said he had this great game whenever like there was a bunch of guys smoking and freebasing in like a motel room. If he wanted guys to leave because he was getting freaked out, he would just say this, Felipe, wait a minute, who's missing? And they'd be like, what? He goes like, who's missing? And you go, all right, there's Joe, Felipe, we got Martha Lynn. And you go, no, you already said Martha Lynn. And then guys start interrupting each other and they get freaked out and they walk out of the room like, this is fucking crazy. Who's missing? My bad decision? Remember the show Blue Streak, Martin Lawrence and Luke Wilson?
Hell yeah.
All right, it was going to be Martin Lawrence and your boy, Jay Mohr's. And I auditioned for it twice, and they go, would they want to see you again? I'm like, I already went in twice. And Barry's like, they said, this is the last time, man. I go, if this is the last time, let's go. Maybe it was the fourth time. So I go in, it goes great, and then I fly from LA to New York to do Caroline's. And I was making $10,000 for the weekend at Caroline's. Hot shit. I'm on Broadway, right? And I'm in my apartment in New York, and Barry goes, okay, man. So the people at Blue Streak, they want you to fly to LA and screen test with Martin Lawrence. I go, you told me that was the last time. He goes, well, it's not the last time. I go, no. I got $10,000 this weekend at this fucking comedy club. And he's like, are you serious, man? And I'm like, yeah, no, they said I'm what a dick I was. I'm like, I want to work with people who are people of their word. They said that was the last time. You can't treat people like, I'm doing a comedy club for 10 grand. Why would I want to make this movie? And he goes, so if this movie goes away and it goes on to make $100 million, you're going to be okay with that, man. I go, yeah. It made $160 million. And I'm not too okay with it. That's my bad decision, being a fucking stubborn nudnik about a stupid comedy club date.
I never seen the movie because I'm glad, because I was going to ask you, so you were in it or what?
Yeah, sure. We just did a movie together. Paul Rodriguez, our friend, did this movie, Holy Cash. And I got to tell you, I hope you guys can go see this movie because we had a lot of fun doing it. First of all, you get to see me really fat.
I've seen the trailer. You
and
are fat.
bald.
Yes, man. For a minute, you think it's Kevin James.
They wanted to do reshoots on the movie, and they couldn't.
He lost weight.
So they used Kevin James.
So they used Kevin James.
Can you get Skyler Stone over here?
Yeah, I was like, I lost 70, 60 pounds.
Fuck. How'd you do it?
How do you think I did it? I
Ozempic.
exercised.
Oh.
Yeah, it was Ozempic. I'm on the shot, and people always go like, when you do Ozempic, people get like mad in LA. They're like, no, you can't. Aren't you worried about the side effects? I'm like, no. What side effect is that? I don't have to have sex anymore with a shirt on with my back to the mirror. I'm okay. You mean, so you think I care? I haven't taken a dump in 8 days. Does it look at me? I look great.
Yeah,
you think
man.
I care when I take a shit? It looks like a baseball made out of marbles. Bro, I gotta put my heels up on the bowl and I gotta rock it out like a baby. And
70 pounds.
I gotta Ric Flair that dump out. And some days I'm like, woo, woo, woo.
Squatty Potty, if you're listening.
Not sponsored.
Not sponsored.
And I have one.
They're
Really?
great. They're
Yeah.
grert.
I just went to Michael Rosenbaum's house to do his podcast, and he had a squatty potty. And I was just taking a leak, but I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna hit shuffle.
The first time I saw one
It
at
came
somebody's
out-
house, I didn't know what that was. I thought, oh, they must have a little baby here
Yeah,
that gets on
baby
top and
steps
pees.
up. Bro, I put my feet up, and my poop came out like somebody was falling on ice. Like, whoa! It just like flew out of me. So, who are you a pro wrestling fan?
Yeah, but not now. But growing
Nah,
up,
yeah,
I
yeah.
was. I don't know who's wrestles now.
Let me tell you something. As much as I hate Jake Paul as a boxer, that's how much I love Logan Paul as a wrestler. My man's like WWE champ, and he's awesome.
Really?
I don't know if he's champ, but he's
Like he's legit.
He's the draw. He's great. But did you notice like pro wrestling, the era you're talking about was where I loved it too. Like Jimmy Snuka, Don Morocco, Dusty Rhodes, Ric Flair, Roddy Piper, Iron Sheik. Like it was badass. Then you put it on in like 2015. The guys weigh like 180 pounds. You know what I mean? It's always like some Irish guy named Seamus.
Yeah.
It's
They're
like, what
buff.
They're like little buff. They just look like guys that like work at a bowling alley. They're just like 180-pound guys. I'm like, I could fuck this guy up.
I like my wrestler, man. Guys that were top heavy with skinny man legs.
Yeah, like who?
Like the what's his name? Jake the Snake Roberts, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He wasn't buff or Big John Studd. He was just tall.
He was on this podcast, Jake the Snake.
Yeah.
And I said, what's the snake's name? And he said, Damien. I go, oh, that's right. And I said, so how long have you loved snakes? And he goes, I'm terrified of snakes. He's afraid of snakes. And that was his gag every night. Can you imagine having to walk into the ring with a fucking bag with a snake on your back?
I remember when I was
freaks me out.
When I was
That'd
a
be
kid,
like if my wrestling name was Joe the Heights Brano.
Yeah, you're afraid of heights, and that's your finishing move is you go up top of a fucking
I got to do
building.
the ladder drop every time.
Oh, what are you afraid of? What's your biggest fear?
I don't know.
Snakes. My thing. I can't fuck with snakes.
Rats? Roaches, probably. I don't know.
You know what I think I hate about rats is they're always so unnecessarily fast. Like one just goes from under. Like I'm sitting here and across the house, or like my apartment in Malibu had one, and it's like one just runs from under my stove to go under my refrigerator, but it goes like 80 miles an hour for no reason. I'm like, Jesus. Like I think if rats were slower, we'd probably just feed them and be nice to
Yeah,
them.
if they just meandered through your house.
Yeah, if they just kind of like, hey, what's up? I'm just going.
I had a mouse in my house when I was doing drugs, and I was like, I would come home late at night all messed up, and I'm like, oh, where you at, little guy? And I got my little friend. I didn't want to kill it.
Yeah. Ever use a glue trap?
Yeah, those are sad. My friend.
It's horrible.
It's sad, huh?
Because you think they're dead, and you reach for it, and he's like, he kind of like looks at you like, but he's like stuck to the glue.
Of all your impressions, that might be my favorite.
It's sad when you kill a rat and then you come back and it's all bones because his buddies ate him.
Oh yeah, rats will. I heard if you put 2 mice in a boa's cage, they'll kill the boa because he can only eat one at a time. And while the mouse is in the, they have to chew or the teeth keep growing, so they always have to chew. So while the mouse is in the snake's throat, the other one chews through the snake.
Oy.
What a fucking kook! If you're listening to this and you own a snake, you're a fucking weird human being because you got to keep dead little mice in your freezer next to your stupid old cuts of fillets and stuff, little white mice.
Or little baby miniature rabbits for the big snake.
Yeah.
How about when you go to the pet store, they got the snakes right next to the mice? Mice are talking shit through the glass.
What's up, fool?
What's up, fool? What's up, fool? Your podcast, What's Up, Fool? It's been going a while.
Yeah, we're like in how many episodes? 500 and something?
Yeah, I haven't been on any of those.
Yeah, we tried to invite you.
Yeah, but you just didn't get around to it?
Yeah.
Waiting for what?
Waiting for you to say yeah.
What? You want me to take out my phone and look at the texts? Yes, please. Okay.
Yeah. You probably have a new number.
Yeah, I got a new number. When was the last time you had a telemarketer call you and ask you for something?
I don't pick up the phone.
Why not? Well, maybe that's why I haven't been on your podcast. You won't pick up the phone.
I don't pick up the phone if I see like
Jay Mohr.
Scam likely or a number that they're calling me and I see the plus sign first. I don't pick up.
My wife gets one and she always goes here and she puts it on speaker. She likes when I'm like, hello. I would like to see your balls before we begin. She likes stupid shit like that. Where was the first time? So you come in. Did you speak English when you came in from Sinaloa?
No, man. We were little. We didn't speak no English. We barely knew Spanish because my dad dropped out of school when he was in 6th grade.
So you just point at the window with a cane? Like the
yeah,
blind
man.
guy?
He didn't speak Spanish
Like
too well either.
Armenian?
So we didn't speak. I learned everything from television, man.
What show?
Watching
I hear this
The
a lot.
Hulk.
I love that shit. That's, no
Don't make me
CGI.
angry, Mr. McGee. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
I like that first, when they do the transition, I always love, and especially like with a werewolf and the Hulk, I like that first picture of him, like when he just starts to go, where it's just, he only has like red eyes and a little bit of green or like a little bit of werewolf hair. To me, that's like scarier than
Just
the
a
full
5 o'clock werewolf shadow.
5 o'clock werewolf shadow. I love that shit.
You talking about American Werewolf in London?
Any of them.
That's the best one when he's turning into the werewolf.
Yeah.
You can see his face crack open and his teeth come out.
I love that shit. Have you ever seen a ghost?
Nah, I don't believe in ghosts.
Well, if you saw one, would you?
Nah, I wouldn't believe it either. I'll just pretend it's a towel or a shadow or something.
How come there's not more? I feel like there should
I don't
be.
believe in it, but a lot of people in my family believe in it, man.
Oh,
They
Mexicans.
swear, bro. Like, I remember when my baby mama was pregnant at one time, there was a full moon, and all the people in the neighborhood, they told her, they gave her safety pins to put around her belly button, around her pants, because a full moon might cause a baby with disformalities. You know, you might get like a mongoloid baby or a little person baby, you know. Something bad.
So out of the safety pins.
So safety pins all over, man. You know what, man? All that safety pin was bullshit because I ended up not staying with her. So it kind of like opposite. It keeps men away.
Anybody in your family believe in chupacabra?
Nah, man. I think more American people believe in that than we do.
You know what that is, Joe?
believe in we believe in La Llorona, bro.
What's
that?
La Llorona.
Hold on. I'm still laughing at the fucking amateur masseuse in the neighborhood getting the alcohol. I gotta see that guy.
Hell yeah, bro. You go there for a bad bag. When you leave, you can't move your ankles.
Yeah. So what are your people? I interrupted you. Your people believe in what?
We believe in La Llorona.
What's
It's
that?
it's
I wouldn't even know what letter to start spelling
Yeah,
that
bro.
way.
Yeah,
right.
He's like,
It
I
ain't
don't
a
know.
Y.
Huh?
It's like spelled like with a Y, Llorona, but it's actually LLORN, whatever. But it's a old legend, bro. People who drive around Mexico or San Antonio, El Paso, they've seen a ghost, and it's like a native woman in a white dress.
Yeah.
And she says, "Where's my kids?"
Yeah, she wants the kids.
Yeah, ¿dónde están mis hijos? Because supposedly the story was that there was a native woman who fell in love with a Spaniard, and they had two kids, and he was gonna go back to Spain, and he goes, "I want to go with you." He goes, "Bitch, you ain't going," whatever, right? You have two little kids, bro. We're not like white. I'm not gonna take them with me, So she ended up drowning them and killing them. And he goes, "Wow, I don't have no kids no more. Maybe you can take me now." He said, "Fuck no." So now she's alive with no kids and no man, and her ghost walks around going,
Now she wants your kids.
"¿Dónde están mis hijos? Where are my kids?" So I do a joke about it now. I say that's the first baby mama who left her kids somewhere, went out to the club.
Yeah. You have my favorite joke of all time about Chewbacca and R2-D2. Yes. Oh, well, I wish I could do that Mexican whistle.
It's something you're born with, bro. When you're born in LA and you're Mexican, they give you a Raider jacket and teach you how to whistle.
Put a pit bull and a baby Bjorn, hit the bleachers in Dodger Stadium. Holy shit, bro. So you learned to speak English watching the Hulk? Like, because if I watch Salvador Gigante,
Nah, man.
I'm not going to learn how to speak Spanish.
Nah, we didn't even watch those shows, man.
No, I'm just saying you learned to speak English watching American
Yeah.
television. But if I watch, like Pasiones, I'm not going to learn Spanish.
And also, I was young, so when I was going to school, there was no ESL, English as a second language class. So there was no grabbing the immigrant kids who don't speak Spanish, don't speak English, and putting them in a class to teach them grammar in English. So no, I had to learn with all the other kids who didn't know how to speak Spanish. So
Is that Boyle Heights?
yeah, man. And I remember in kindergarten, man, when they asked me to do the ABCs, and I stopped at T, and I couldn't continue. I didn't know the rest of the letters.
Oh, that's got to be like traumatic though.
And then you can hear the kids go, "Sit down, stupid, you stupid wetback." And then I don't know what he said, but 'cause I don't know the reference then.
Don't you think that's traumatic? Like, don't you think that kind of maybe why you're a comedian? Like,
No, as a little kid, that's not. I didn't think about it as bad because
Mencito.
no, because there was like worse things that happened to me later in life that affected me more than that. Because there was a lot of kids who didn't speak Spanish, and I was funny already. I was like quick with a joke, so everybody liked me.
Yeah, I was quick with a joke too, but that stuff definitely fucked me up for my whole life.
What
Like,
fucked me up more was having a speech impairment and my parents making fun of me. That messed me up more.
I never noticed you had a speech impediment.
Oh, because man, I hide it well, bro. If I get nervous, it comes out. Or if I want to tell somebody out of the blue a story, I have to pause and then see the words, read them in the clouds, and then say it.
What is the impediment? Like, what letters do you mess up?
I have no idea. It just would come out when I was nervous, and I started like talking real fast.
Just a stutter.
Yeah. And then I remember they took me out of the class and they put me in another class in second grade for people with speech impairments.
Yeah, speech class.
And I was in a speech class, yes.
I always wanted to get in that class.
Yeah, they put me in that class, and then later on, bro, I was speaking in front of the assembly at the school, reading papers, like the fucking emperor.
The Federalist Papers.
Yes, bro, I was reading this shit, bro. Everybody.
And they were still like, sit down, you wetback.
Yeah, man. You know how to read, stupid.
And fuck you, puto.
And I started reading in church, and when I started being a comedian, this comedian goes, Willie Barcena goes, hey, bro, you got to learn how to enunciate, fool.
I love Willie so
That
much.
fool told me to put up a lot of paper towels in my mouth and speak as a Godfather.
No.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you something. I worked with Willie like 1990, 91.
Yeah, he's 100 now.
He worked. His work ethic was like Michael Jordan-esque, Kobe. Like that guy, after the gig, he's like, let's go back to the room and, come over to the room. We'll write. I'm like, great. And we'd write. We were there for like 2-3 hours. I'm like, all right. He's like, where are you going? I'm like, bro, it's time for bed. He's like, no, we got to keep working. I'm like, I kind of want to hit the clubs.
And you're like, who's missing?
Who's missing?
I used the advice you gave him on acting when I write down my lines.
Well, I gave Willie acting advice?
Yeah, you told him that
didn't help.
When you no, it helped me. You told him that because Willie you told Willie to just grab all his lines and put them all in a monologue and read it like that, and then the feelings for every word will come out while you're reading it better because the other person's not there to read.
Why are you
with
looking
you,
at him? If I said
to read with you. Trying to give him advice, bro.
He's talking to him too much. Talk to me. I miss you.
Yeah, man. So I do that now. I before I get the script, I write down all the lines in one other paper, and I read it all like a monologue first.
But you, I think, said the most important thing is you write them out. That's how I memorize my lines.
Write them out.
If I don't write them out, I'm dead in the water. It's like, ever try to pray without saying anything out loud? You're in your own head, and you're like, wow, when I was a kid, we used to ghost ride our bikes. I mean, sorry, full of grace. The Lord is with thee. Like, unless you say it out loud, it's so easy to get your brain has like a billion things going on. But if I write it out and then I make a mistake, then I go back to the beginning and I see the part I made a mistake, and then I see if I can get longer. And then when I'm doing that, the part that I keep messing up becomes obvious. Then I just put all that shit away. Then I just do that part, writing that part out, writing. Then I go back to the thing and I can write it all out longhand. And like Jerry Maguire, I would do it in like Australian, Irish, German. I would do it as Barry. I would do it as like this guy, that guy. I would do it like I was a gay guy. Like I would just do it in any accent I could. It's like you just gotta. And I've noticed people always say like, "Do you get nervous? Do you get nervous?" It's like, if I'm nervous, it's because I'm not as prepared as I should be. That's proven out over like 38 years of stand up. Do you get nervous before you go out
on stand up?
Yeah,
I do. But
really?
I write down the first line I'm gonna say when I go up. If I'm going to say, what's up, fool? I write it down. If I'm going to say, how's everybody doing tonight? Good? All right. I write it down. And that helps me remember everything else.
Just that one thing?
Yeah, Corey Holcomb told me to do that. Because he told me, he goes, even if I'm going to go up and say, man, welcome to this bitch-ass club, he writes it down.
Corey's got one of my favorite jokes. He goes, shout out to the fat girls that ride dick with a T-shirt on.
Bro, you fucking you wrote down his joke on his page where somebody was saying, me too.
Somebody said he was overrated. They go name one funny Corey Holcomb joke. He goes, I'm so ghetto. I got 2 7-year-olds and they ain't 20s.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, and then I wrote down
I defended that.
The
guy.
one I defended them too. I wrote down if you ain't married, if you're a woman who ain't married, you're probably under some. Every man has 5 women he's fucking with.
That's not true, though.
That's his joke.
It used to be true.
Yeah.
Before you fucking meet up with a winner.
Yeah, man.
Do you think we had 5 women because they all kind of part of them sucked?
Well,
like, she's a fucking got an eating disorder. This one's a fucking pain in my ass.
Yeah, according to Holy Holcomb, everybody has 5 women, man, in their lives. But
that's not true.
But the funny one was that his punch, the end of the 5th one was the funniest one. He goes, every man, he goes, and you got to have that little chubby woman with good credit. That bitch will co-sign anything. And when you're a struggling comic, you need a person like that.
Yeah.
You need somebody who call, baby, I got this gig that pays $200, but the flight costs $500.
Oh, those days. Bro, you don't understand, Joe. If I was doing stand-up now, Felipe, if I was an open micer today, I would have quit and joined the Army or the Marines. Like, there's no way I would have made it in stand-up comedy. I don't care how talented you are. You have to be so good at a skill set that has nothing to do with comedy. You got to bring fucking people to an open mic at 5 o'clock at night or 4 in the afternoon and sit there through dog shit. Then you got to do it again. And I don't know how you guys do it. You're an open micer, Joe. How do you do it?
That's right. No, it is. It's a crazy time though. Like with you got to sell the room. You got to then do the show. I'm like, why don't I just make the mozzarella sticks and I'll do the whole fucking shebang.
You're like, I don't fucking work here. I just want to tell jokes.
Yeah.
I came up in the late 80s, early 90s where every bar had stand-up comedy night. In the East Coast specifically, you would go all over the Eastern Seaboard and it was 100, 150, 200, 100, 150, 200, 150. Like, you got paid. It was great. But then, what you were saying, Felipe, getting into those flights, that shit got stressful. When you got to go through Texas on them little prop planes, and I didn't have like the right suit. I used to travel with, I had 2 bags, one with my clothes and the other one with my boom box and my tapes. Because I had to have my music on the road, bro.
Me, man, I would fly with just my bag and the PlayStation to play Madden when I land.
Oh, are you still playing Madden?
Yeah, I play on a Switch now.
I just learned how to make my quarterback run after all these years, and I've been fucking my 13-year-old son up, and he's the worst loser. He's an absolute dick. He's like, oh! He accuses me of going on all pro and I'm like, no, bro. But I'm not. You ever do that? You sneak off? Yeah. But I didn't do it.
I murdered my friend one time. He was an all Madden, and I was a rookie.
You're like the Rhine Fire.
Bro, 11 interceptions in the first quarter.
What team were you?
I was the Raiders, bro.
Raiders. You know, the best I ever did on Madden when I was at the Raiders, when they had Randy Moss, and I would do the 5 receiver sets, and Randy Moss just did this weird curl route, this weird drag route, and there was never anybody there to cover him.
Also, man, I was playing the Colts, and Edwin James was unstoppable in Madden.
Yeah, he was great. When they came out with those vibrating controllers, that was
the hit stick.
Oh, fucking hell! Now it's pretty good. How long are the quarters you play?
Oh man, we would play 2 minute quarters when we play against each other, but when I play by myself, it's 4 minutes.
When you play by yourself, you ever do it? Of course you did. You do you take one team and do a whole season, take them to the Super Bowl, and you run the clock all the way down to 1 before every snap.
Yeah,
that is some pothead business.
Right that's what I tweeted, man. When the Chiefs were down, and I said coming back from 34-0 is impossible, even on Madden.
Yeah, yeah. How happy were you to watch the Chiefs get their shit pushed in?
It was good, bro.
Oh, it was great.
It was good, man. As a diehard Raider fan, it was good.
You're a Chiefs fan?
No, I'm a Giants fan, so anybody but the fucking Eagles.
Yeah, but aren't you sick of fucking Kermit Mahomes?
I'd rather Mahomes win the next 10 than the Eagles win another football game.
Hey ho, Kermit Mahomes, here I am with the 2-minute drill. Yeah. They always walk like, I can't even get into the Chiefs. Who gives a shit? Football's over. What's Up, Fool's coming out. It's out right now on Netflix.
Yeah, Raging Fool is out right now.
Oh, Raging Fool. And What's Up, Fool is out now.
Yeah, and my other podcast, History for Fools, which I love doing.
What? I'm a history nut, dude.
Bro, me and my friend Butch Escobar, we read a couple of books about a subject, and then we come back and we talk about it for about an hour.
What's the best subject you've covered?
Oh, man, there's so many, but I think we did a history of stand-up comedy. We read that book that guy wrote. The one he did, the HBO one, and then he wrote other books. So we did the one on Native Americans.
Wow.
And the book is called We Had a Real Estate Problem.
Stupid ass.
Yeah. So he talks about the
that's really the name of the book?
Yeah, we had a real estate problem.
That's like a joke.
And they talk about all the Native comedians like Charlie Hale, Larry Omaha,
Jim Thorpe.
Yeah, and all those all those guys, and you learn about that their stand-up comedy is mainly the guy who hosts the powwow. I don't know if you know what a powwow is.
Yeah, it's a
all
party.
The natives get together and have a powwow. Well, the guy who hosts that powwow, he hosts the whole powwow. He's doing like 9 hours, bro, of hosting like 5 hours.
It's like Chappelle.
Yes. So he's doing Indian native jokes in between. So he's basically a stand-up comedian, which I didn't know.
I in New Jersey, where I'm from, it was the most. It's got I think the most tribes per capita. Like they just overlapped, and all the names, Hohokus, Matawan, Hoboken, it's all tribes. Ramapo, Lenni Lenape, it's all like they.
That's right, Hoboken, New Jersey. That's a name.
It's all tribes. It's all Indian words in New Jersey. Hohokus.
Yeah.
Ho. I love that shit. That's my wheelhouse. Is like Sea caucus. I can't spell sea caucus without that cock. The Syracuse, yeah. Down syndrome capital of the world. You know that?
I didn't know that.
Most Down syndrome cases per capita anywhere in the world.
They must sleep with each other.
Well, it's nuclear reactors, and they sleep with each other, I guess.
That's crazy. That's a fact, right?
Yeah.
But that's why they're born like that.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it on the podcast. Otherwise, I don't want the backlash. I'm tired of that shit.
Because when we were doing the history of serial killers, we were reading about every book on Richard Ramirez, and we found out this other book where his uncle, he was a Vietnam vet. He was a serial killer in Vietnam.
Oh,
wow! He came home with Polaroids of all the bad shit he did in Vietnam. And he would show Richard Ramirez when he was like 12 years old. Right here, mijo, these pinche chinitos, I stabbed them, eh? And then he would talk about all the people he raped and murdered in Vietnam to Richard Ramirez. And supposedly there was like a nuclear reactors back in the day in the 1950s when they were testing the bomb. Yeah. And it leaked and it damaged a lot of the water in El Paso and Juarez. Yeah. And supposedly that caused a lot of premature babies in that area, and
my mother's from Odessa, and I was a premature baby.
There you go, bro. It affected the whole area. A lot of premature babies in that area, and his uncle was one of them, and he ended up being crazy.
Don't you think like they upsell serial killers a little bit? Like they always go like, wow, the reason Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker, and Ted Bundy could get all the women to kill is because they were so handsome. And you look at these guys, they're just fucking herbs. Yeah. They look like they work in an old video store in the porno section. It's like, oh, everybody crawled into that guy's car? Well, yeah. Well, when Ted Bundy pulls up, the women went all over him. And you see him at his trial. He just looks like a defensive coordinator. And
Richard Ramirez had the worst teeth. The worst fucking teeth. His breath stunk like ass over ass. That's one thing. That's how they found him, you know. How was it? Oh, man, he had this shit breath. And that's why when they were talking about it, you could see he put his head down like this. He was very insecure about his teeth. But they had him faced in prison.
I see like 2 guys a week that look exactly like Richard Ramirez.
I've been with women who look like Richard Ramirez. And women who look like Selena's killer, too.
I was at the Comedy Cellar, and Dave Attell was on stage, and there was these 4 Mexican girls in the front row, and they're like this, just... And he does like 10 minutes. He's just ignoring him. And then finally goes, what's the matter, ladies? Did Selena die again? The goat of all goats. So this movie, Holy Cash, I didn't even know you were in it. Because my shit was I filmed all with Paul and a little bit with Ari Spears, who is his own carnival. This guy, his ad libs, I've never laughed like that on camera when I wasn't supposed to. Here's the best ad lib maybe in my entire life I heard. He plays the preacher that we're trying to get money out of, and he's a completely corrupt preacher. And he kicks us out of his church, and he goes, man, he tells to Paul Rodriguez, get the fuck out of here, bro. And he looks at me and he goes, and take that thick neck white boy with you before I fuck the Down syndrome out of him. Like, I'm on camera, and I had to tuck my head behind Paul's shoulder, because I'm just like, like, how do you fucking, and I'm like in real time, because I do have a thick ass, like Jay Mohr, Ohio State University. I do have like a big, thick Monday Night Football neck. But he's going to fuck the Down syndrome out of me. Jesus, that hurt.
Fuck.
Yeah. Aries is in it. And the best part, what did you play in the movie?
I play his parole officer.
Oh, that's right. Because you're stupid.
Yeah, I think Captain Ramirez.
Okay, now I totally remember. I just needed my memory jogged. That movie, P-Rod, his son, I think, put the money up.
Yeah.
The skater. And it was like, this poor guy did more with less of anybody I've ever known in my life. When I did like looping. Usually you go to like a sound stage and you record your voice. We went to some guy's apartment in the valley. He was like just waking up, and I just sat on his couch and held a mic, set it into like, it looked like a karaoke machine. I'm like, all right, Paul, go ahead, buddy. But we had a good time on that.
Was it during the pandemic?
No, it was right afterwards.
Right afterwards, okay.
And they were good to me because I was newly sober, and I was like, look, man, I got to do this meeting online every night at 6 p.m. It's kind of like my jam. And they just, every night at 6, they're like, all right, we'll shoot something else. JJ's got to do his meeting.
That was cool.
Yeah, it was great. And you, Paul, who your scenes were with Paul and who else?
Just Paul.
Just Paul. Man, when I was watching stand-up as a kid, I would get like the VHS tapes of those. It's an evening at the Improv, 25th anniversary special. And like Paul was on it. And I was like, wow. Like to me, he's like, you know, people say old Hollywood, they're like, you know, Clark Gable. To me, old Hollywood's like Paul Rodriguez, like Jerry Seinfeld, Dice.
Those were all on my VHS too. Somebody loaned me a VHS tape and it had like 6 hours of stand-up. And it was Howard Mandel, Robin Williams, and that Rodney Dangerfield, young comedian, the good one. Yeah. The one that had Jeff Altman, Robert Townsend, Sam Kinison, and Jerry Seinfeld.
Yeah.
And one, you man, imagine that was the
crazy
lineup.
Yeah.
When Sam did the bit about necrophiliacs and how'd you like to be a body? You're dead in the morgue, and some guy gets on top of you like, oh. Who's your favorite comedian? Like, give me your top
Growing
three.
up or right now?
Both.
Growing up, I liked Paul Rodriguez. I liked George Carlin, Rodney Dangerfield because of the movies. And pretty much it, bro. I remember buying a Steve Martin album, the one with when he has the arrows on his head. It was sold at Sears.
Yeah.
It was like the little outlet area. It was for $1, $2. I bought it.
How'd you like it?
Didn't like it. Didn't get it. Just put it away and saved it. Never listened to it again. But the Richard Pryor, the N-word is crazy. I memorized that shit, bro. Memorize that shit to this day.
A wino don't worry about nothing but running out of wine. Wino fuck with Dracula.
You can never get a ambulance in the ghetto unless you call up and say, 5 black people killing a white woman. Where's the body?
Yeah. Isn't that the one with the wino versus Dracula?
Yeah.
Do you know that bit?
No.
He goes, a wino don't fuck with Dracula. And he goes, hey, man, what you doing peeking in those people's window? And he goes, yeah, N-word, you in the Cape. Like that first sentence, because that means Dracula's looking in somebody's window. And when the wino yells at him, he goes, who, me? He goes, yeah, well, you in the Cape. Dirt all on your neck, shit hanging out your mouth. He goes, here's something brilliant about Pryor. He goes, it's 1975, fool, get your shit together. The album came out in 70. The album came out
70
in 75. It was recorded in 74, but he said 75 because he knew it would come out in 75, and he got nominated for the Grammy. Like that forethought to do that is like, I might have the dates messed up. The years. It was 83.
Yeah. My favorite bit of that album was the one with oh man, it was a wino, the exorcism, you know. A wino ain't no fair no exorcism.
Get the cross.
And a wino be talking to the devil, like talking to God, like, hey man, God, you better get your ass down here, man. Fucking devil acting like a motherfucking fool over here.
Well, yeah. Get the cross out your butt. So your What's Up Fool comes out. It's on Apple. It's on Spotify. Do you have a YouTube thing also?
Yeah, we go live every Wednesday at 6. A live podcast.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we had
that's tomorrow.
Harlan Williams last week.
Oh, Harlan's fucking hilarious.
And it was live. And this week we have Carlos Oscar.
All right, my man. I'm so glad to see you rocking the tracksuit, my man. You came in loaded for bear. You got
what's up, fool? Hell yeah, bro.
What's up, fool?
Did you ever perform at that club, the Chin in Boston, the Chinese restaurant place?
Oh, the Kowloon.
Where all the Boston comics performed?
No, I did Nick's and Comedy Connection and Stitches. That was a little before me. I wish, buddy.
No, that was before your time, huh?
Barely, like a year.
Cause that was that's Bobcat. That's even before Bobcat Galway's time, huh? Barely.
He did it for sure.
And Stephen Wright.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's amazing.
I ran into him, bro. My favorite comic, Stephen Wright. I was working at Dodger Stadium making hot dogs, And he came in, and he had his hair like that, right? Like that. And a little hoodie.
Steve
and
Howe got a
I told all
massage
the cholos and the fucking gangsters that I work with, and he goes, "What's up, hey fool? Check this out, bro. You see that fool right there? That fool had the Oscar, bro. He's the Oscar, bro. He's the comedian. He won an Oscar." He goes, "That fool the bum, bro. He look a homeless man." No, for real. I'm gonna go talk to him right now. What's this? Hey, what's up? And I scared him. "What's up, Steven Wright, man? This fool don't believe me. Did you have an Oscar?" I do have an Oscar. I just want to shake your hand, man. And he's like a germaphobe. And he went like this, bro, all the way to his hoodie. And he went like that and he shook my hand.
It's really nice to meet you. I hope the Dodgers win because of your uncle's massaging the hood on his mattress.
I once ordered breakfast during the Renaissance.
I love you, buddy. Thanks for coming.
Too, man. Thanks for having me, bro. Good
Come on.
you.
Yeah. Let's go. Orale, vato, ¿qué pasó?
What's up, fool? More stories.
Fool? Let's go. Jay Moore's my uncle.